Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dashboard Fridays. I'm Adam from SquaredUp, and I'm joined by my colleague Tim today. Tim is a long-term fan and participant in Dashboard Fridays. I'm sure you'll have all seen him many a time. Tim is back to talk about another awesome internal dashboard. Tim, I'll bring the dashboard up. It's got an interesting play on the title. Nice use of emojis. Why don't you talk us through sort of what the dashboard is, what a bashboard is all about?
Yeah, well, as you've already pointed out with the punning and the emoji, this is designed to be a bit of a fun dashboard. So the goal of what we were trying to do is to have a bug bash for the product, using the product. And for us, like bug bash, I guess can mean a few things. For us, what we were trying to do is have a break from normal day-to-day of working through features and adding wonderful new areas to the product and work on the quality in one go, get all the teams involved and have a bit of fun doing it at the same time. So it was a 2-week period of time. We had a bit of planning, so we made sure we had a nice big list of bugs to tackle, and then the goal was that every team took on a selection of bugs depending on what their team was kind of specializing in, and tried to complete as many as possible. And by complete, I mean developed and tested, of course, and released into production. And then, yeah, this was the dashboard bashboard to keep track of it, with, well, as you can see, a bunch of totals. Since we've finished it, then all these numbers look marvelous, and it was a really good time. Yeah, and that's kind of the gist of why we built it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it obviously it looks very compelling. Everything's green. All the gauges are maxed out. Clearly it went well. If we just sort of take a quick sort of scroll through the dashboard, it would be good to just sort of call out, I guess, like the different things that were interesting to track on this. Obviously, here at the top, this is like great summary information. We're clearly targeting 115 bugs. We hit 162. That's pretty clear from that. And then the split by teams, like you mentioned, our application team, data visualization team, etc. And everybody has hit or exceeded their target. I quite like the sort of the split by person as well. Maybe a little bit of a like team competition as well. As teams of different sizes. What else is on the board, and what?
Yeah, well,
I'll
I'll start from the top. So yeah, this line graph is showing us tracking against our goals. So last time we did this, it was a little bit less planned. So we certainly had a lower total, which was 43, which you can see in the top right. So that is our lower light blue line on the line graph, showing us what we'd need to do to beat 43. And then the second line was Director of Engineering Josip's target, because he likes a nice big round number. So he went with 100. But as you can see, after the first 3 or 4 days, we trended well above it and carried on exceeding it. So yeah, like beat three goals in one period of time, which was really nice. And yeah, the numbers below. So as you said, one for each team, and then because obviously when you do a bit of gamification, then everyone starts to debate what the rules are and who's really winning. So yeah, we got into all sorts of how many per person, whether there should be penalties if your bug breaks something else. But yeah, I mean, we didn't put that all on the dashboard. But yeah, so we've got.
Is there a future risk that we're incentivizing the addition of bugs to the product just so people can better win the bug bash board next time, right? The bug bash next time?
Quite possibly. I mean, there were no cash prizes handed out, but so I think the incentive is still fairly low. But people do like the kudos. I'll just scroll down, so we've got a few other less exciting, perhaps, but also useful tiles. So just a nice bar chart of how many the teams were getting through, split by team, and then to also highlight the test automation, because we did a bit of tech debt cleaning up, which is obviously another use case. It doesn't all have to be bugs. You can look at your tech debt. You can look at any sorts of tickets. I mean, you could do this from maybe a support and documentation point of view as well. And then yeah, I've just added this in. This is not real data, but just to make it look more live. So as things were in flight, we can see what sort of status they were, and those URLs will take us directly out to Jira, which is what we were using underneath as the sort of source of data. And then we've just got a couple of large tables again for being able to query through search and see anything specific that you want before you go to Jira. Being able to just quickly search for an ID is quite nice, because then you can see where one particular bug is and who it's with, without having to actually go out to Jira or switch screens, because I'm pretty lazy. I like to stay on exactly one screen. So yeah, just like that, I can just search one up.
Yeah, nice. I mean, so using the Jira plugin, I'd imagine this is, to get this sort of quite filtered view from Jira. Probably just, I guess it's all JQL. The line graph at the top is pretty interesting though, because there's clearly some custom targets and trackers built into that you aren't obviously going to be part of a Jira issue, or sort of logged in Jira somehow. So maybe if you could give us a quick walk through that running total graph.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm no SQL expert, so this probably took me an embarrassing amount of time to write. But yeah, basically using the data from Jira and a list of dates to come up with an output that just let me have per day either the number of tickets done, which is obviously the actual, that's a simple count of what's being done in Jira. So let me find that bit of the code. So yeah, so doing a simple sum, there's a bit of manipulation here with the dates to get it to present nicely on the line graph, because I've got to take the dates that Jira gives me and then turn them into something that our SQL Analytics page is able to use. And for the other targets, I mean, again, it's just it's just maths, just dividing by the number of days to make it look correct.
No, so you're always looking at like the number of issues being returned from Jira. You then have used a bit of SQL to figure out how many per day we would have to be at, what we would have to be tracking out to reach the goal in that 2-week period. Josip set is slightly more vigorous goal, sort of getting beyond it, and then actually counting up the number closed on the day and the sum of all of the ones that were already closed up to that date, right?
Exactly that. So, effectively, you've just got 3 calculations for the number, and then it's all about combining them into one final query. So they appear next to the date. And then once you've obviously got date and however many columns you use, you've then got your nice line graph.
Nice. Yeah, it looks great. I mean, I guess views like that are pretty common in sort of sprint planning in Jira. There's also like velocity charting and that kind of stuff that it does. So yeah, it's great to be able to sort of bring it into SquaredUp in a pretty cool way, especially when we're sort of gaming the engineers into fixing a bunch of bugs in the product. Is there anything else worth sort of calling out on this one? Seems pretty straightforward, right? It's just a really good use of Jira data.
Yeah, I mean, everything else I think just has Jira data underneath it, apart from these per person ones, and that is just me counting the number of people in a team. So
gotcha.
Maths basically, not even really using a data source. Yeah, all Jira data, and then using our gauges and obviously setting the monitoring ticks on here. So it was obviously originally started out red, then amber, and then green as we went past that 100 goal.
Great. Yeah, looks really cool. I mean, hopefully this will inspire a few people to build their own sort of gamify their own engineering teams in Jira as well. So yeah, really nice work.
And you could definitely leverage exactly the same thing for your Kanban boards, your Scrum, your sprint planning, because using the same line graph approach, you could do burn up, burn down, whatever you like, really.
Nice. Yeah, really nice. Yeah, I suppose as well with the Web API tile, the Azure DevOps plugin, maybe you're using like ADO issues and boards from there instead. Building an equivalent to this could look exactly the same. The data could be from anywhere else. Maybe even the dreaded Excel spreadsheet could be tracking this kind of stuff if you're in that kind of organization. Well, I really appreciate you joining us again for another one. I'll go ahead and wrap us up quickly.
My
This
pleasure.
dashboard, there's a really good write-up along with tons of other dashboards now that people have submitted as just generally day-to-day submitting dashboards to us through our dashboard competitions, various other things. If you've got anything you want to share, just get in touch. But yeah, check out the dashboard gallery, squareup.com/dashboard gallery. And if you have questions about SquaredUp or monitoring or Tim or anything that you want to ask, any questions you want to ask, head over to Community Answers, community.squaredup.com. Loads of people there to help you out. Probably only Tim can help you out if you have questions about Tim, but he's there too. So check it out. And again, if you're using the product, if you're stuck with anything, our support team are always happy to help as well. Docs.squaredup.com is a great place to start. But yeah, that's it for today. So yeah, one more thanks for Tim, and we'll see you next time.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.